Hey guys, love is God, God is a woman, and I just cracked the how, the why, the where we came from, all of it. Like she just revealed herself fully to me. So basically, oh my gosh, so basically how I did it, how it works is like, okay, I started with the reproduction, right, of male and female, and then we know that the ovaries came first. The testes are inverted, set of like the ovaries, and that the female came first because all men came from a woman. You keep tying that back all the way back to like parthenogenesis. Okay, the ability for a female to create, from herself without a male needed, and then that's a form of asexual reproduction. And then so then you know like that the ovaries came first. Okay, so then you find out where the ovaries came from. They come from like some like gonad cells, that can branch off, and then you take that back even more and like to find out where those cells came from and where they were developed from, and they developed from cells that, as you keep going back farther into asexual organisms, they came back from cells that developed through evolution over time, from like the first from the primordial soup, like the first entities that were existing, and then how they developed were from different particles and elements coming together and mixing and mingling, like water elements and like minerals and like maybe stuff from volcanic ash, or all the stuff that comes together to build a human, that it mixed and mingled together and it's evolved into a more conscious entity. But it is in the beginning where it was these base forms. That's when it was doing its thing, and that's where those cells developed. And then so now we know that's how those elements coming together can mix and evolve to create a conscious entity, and that's what we are. Okay, so now you look at everything on as above is so below, as above. You look at everything on a cosmic scale. Okay, those elements and everything are just floating out in space, like all those different particles and everything, they exist out in space. So if we can do that on this level to create a conscious entity, like they can mix and mingle within each other on that scale and create a conscious entity. And that entity is what I believe is what we know of as the conscious version, the conscious God. That's her. Like, and okay, so then you keep taking that back even farther. Okay, where did those where did all those matter, where does that matter, and that stuff that's able to mix and mingle and all stuff come together to be able to create the conscious entity, to create her, the form of her, where that conscious form of her. Okay, so then I take that back even further, and you go back to like, okay, so nothingness. Okay, right? And then you think of like, okay, so nothingness, right? You can imagine nothingness as being like these like buckets of potential, almost like this, just like this space for like potential to arise. And if you think about that, okay, so like that is a feminine entity. That's like a feminine essence, the receptive space for something to arise. And this is where I had really pinpointed it here. So like, love is God and God is a woman. So we know that receptive space of nothingness, which really isn't nothingness, it's just it's inverted matter, because that space, if you have like an infinite or like a massive amount, an infinite amount of nothingness, there would be it would be a tension that would be formed, because if of all this is like this infinite amount of like those buckets, or like there's space for something to exist, and that tension would eventually snap and flip and invert and become something. And that tension is what love, I guess on a human scale we would call it, is love, like the longing for something to exist, the longing for connection, the longing for that, like like that whatever that is, like that tension, that feeling, that like, so that's how love is God, and that's how God is a woman. And like she was first, so like that snap, or that inversion of the what we would call like nothingness, but this is a space for potential. It's matter inverted. So nothingness is essentially just inverted matter. And and how all those things come together to form like the consciousness of ourselves, and then like the universal consciousness, which is her, and that's where everything came from. That's how we all got here. That's how everything came to be. And she's just been operating, on all levels, like, since then, but not like the receptive, like what we would call nothingness, presence was there first. So yeah, let me know what you think. Love is God, God is a woman. Like, wow. I love y'all. Talk soon. Like, wow.